Widows, widows, boys and ghouls, how you all doing? I know you've seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail. Ooh, drama, drama, drama. Not necessarily. So, I've had a number of emails. Yo, you need to check out this ghost theory video because third person has finally been spotted. Something that I have considered, something I've brought up. But, is it every time? I don't think so. Have I absolutely proved it? I don't think so. So, I'm looking at specific claims from the ghost theory audience. So, no matter whether it's positive or negative, I'm going to look, see what people are emailing me about. And what I find is what goes in this video, no matter what. So the video in question is a new video. Now, I'll get into some of the reasons people have messaged me after we do this, because this is about a specific claim on a specific time scale from like 12 minutes 20, 12 minutes 27. Apparently, the third person is captured in some glass somewhere, and it's definitely not Joe and definitely not Elliot. So we're going to take a look to see if it's definitely somebody else, because that doesn't mean that they've taken a third person. That means there could be somebody else in this property that they are unaware of, which would lead to a further debunk if that's the case. So I'm not going to be playing their intros or anything like that. We're just going to look at the specific claims, and then we're going to look at some other time codes as well. So I don't know if it's this window or is that a window there? I'm not entirely sure. So I'm literally going to frame by frame and see if I can spot a person, or if it's a reflection of Joe and Elliot that somebody's misidentified, or anything sort of like that, Right, so 1224. I know who that is already. That's Joe. Look at the size on the forearm, there's tattoos, bald head. I can make that out from here. So let's zoom this image in. So to me, this is 100% Joe. There's this much of his head. Obviously, Joe has got a shaved head. He's got a beard, a shorter beard than mine, but he's got a short ginger beard, a shortish ginger beard. That's what I can see there. If you wonder why I'm switching between monitors, I've got it zoomed in on this monitor, and that's the original. So I'm pointing on that monitor. But yeah, that's Joe. I can see the tattoos. I can see his black t-shirt with like white writing down the sleeves. Beard. I can't make out the glasses because it's too pixelated, but that to me is 100% Joe. I mean, the height gives him away. He's behind that. He's a big dude, tall. I suppose you could see a body type similar to mine with a belly. I'm not being insulting, but that to me is 100% Joe. So go back to regular size and we'll just play this little segment. So it's from 1424, and I think that little snippet of sound you just heard then is where this confusion has come from. Nobody's done anything wrong. They've asked me to look, I've looked, and there's a reason why this has been mistaken.
Can you make a loud sound? Interesting.
Yeah, that's Joe moving out of sight. No, they haven't claimed that that was a ghost in the window, Joe and Elliot. That's a viewer of theirs, like, who's that person in there? It's Joe. We've zoomed in as much as we can. That confusion has come from Joe and Elliot wearing these. Maybe not this specific brand, but they're wearing lav mics. So to the viewer that hasn't used these types of microphones and cameras, so you guys are the camera, I'm Joe and Elliot. I've got a microphone on here, but that sound has just been transposed over to this camera. You can even hear the echo of this camera because they've synced the audio up. So for me, there is absolutely nothing in this to suggest any form of fakery. So there's no third person. It is literally the lav mics has made potentially somebody think that this Joe and Elliot are this side of the camera when they're not. They're that side, but they've just sunk the audio. They've just synced up the audio of the two separate. So there's a couple of other time codes. Okay, so apparently around the 6:40. I'm going to go a bit earlier anyway.
Is that someone outside? I can hear a pigeon. Is there someone in the bathroom?
That's something blowing. It's still moving, but there was what looked like somebody passed the window. Let's go back. Is it a person? Because it looks like there's something blowing out there. No, that's a tree. I don't think that's a person. Oh, it might be. No, it sprung back up. That's something blowing in the wind. There's, I'm assuming, trees or something outside there. Look at the comment section. A lot of comments oh, there you go. Mention 640. It's just a bush blowing in the wind. We didn't take any notice of it because we could just see that. That's what it is. But the way it's cut doesn't show it for long enough for everyone to see that it's just a bush. So there we go. They've addressed that themselves. Now I know why this has been sent to me, because this premiere was pulled. It was live for however long, and then it was pulled, and they're like, sorry, there was an issue, we re-uploading. People can guess what the issue was. I think it's happened a couple of times. I've had to pull a video before now because I accidentally doxed myself in something that was open on my computer in the background. It happens. People are going to question, and people should be allowed to question. Oh, there you go. Even the audience. Is that a shadow bastard going by the window, or is there a tree outside? It looked like a tree to me because it went that way, but then it sprang back up. Yeah, a lot of people think that somebody was spotted, and it's, to me, it looks like a tree. Yeah, a lot of people thinking that somebody's been spotted and they haven't. Anyone else here sounds a 56 grunt or a moan, female moan. The building's too loud for me to warrant looking at that. Everyone heard and saw that door down the hall to the right get pushed open real quick, right? Thing is, the doors, whether it's from them moving about or other people in there moving about, these doors are on these mag locks, and these mag locks, when they're not maintained, they'll stick and they'll slowly just creak. You could hear it knocking as it was trying to close. So maybe they've pushed the door open. It's just taking forever to close. I wouldn't say that's paranormal. The big reason I've been asked to look at this, aside from the third person, which hasn't been captured on camera as far as I'm concerned, the big thing is they use a thermal imaging camera, and they capture, apparently, a heat signature of a person on a bed. And people are saying that it's a ghost. So let's have a look. Ghosts are reportedly cold. So why would it leave a heat signature? I'm not saying they've staged anything. I'm not saying anything of the sort. What I am saying is, if the ghostly experiences that people have reported for hundreds and thousands of years are of coldness, a cold touch, a cold breath, a cold spot, then why would a bed have heat on it? Now, can we guarantee 100% in this massive building that ghost theory are there on their own? I'm not talking about a third person with them. I'm just talking about somebody. Can we guarantee that? No. So can we guarantee that somebody hasn't spotted them walking around and then jumped off the bed because they're laying up for the night because they've got nowhere else to go and they've scarpered off, which would account for a lot of doors banging and stuff? We have to take that into account because that is more probable than a ghost did it. No shots fired, nothing of the sort. I'm not taking the piss. It's more realistic that a person has been on that bed and just scarpered off because they've heard these pair coming. Added to that, has one of these pair leaned on there, sat on there, forgotten, or you do have to see, have they done it on purpose? It's a possibility. I'm not saying they have. I've got no proof of that one of them has just laid on a bed, jumped off and gone, oh look, heat signature. It's possible.
He passed away. Is that why you're still in this room? That was incredibly fast.
That was incredibly fast.
And that's temperature going up too, which is interesting, isn't it?
Which is interesting.
And someone to the left. That's actual movement to the left.
What?
So yes, we are able to communicate. I can hear that same noise, that like someone's running away. It's like there's permanently someone running around upstairs.
Yeah.
But there isn't an upstairs. Fuck.
Joe, can you just move to the left a sec?
Why?
Can you see?
I mean, there's nice spooky music they're building up, but there is 100% heat there, 21.9 degrees. Now, is there a ceiling window? And maybe it's broke and there's some sort of light bleed through has heated up certain parts of the bed. I just don't know without a ceiling shot. I can only guess.
What is that?
Right. So, is that a K2 meter on there? Because if that's a K2 meter on there, that looks like a K2 meter. It might not be. It might be a remote for the bed. But if that is a K2 meter on there, have they put it on there and leaned on there and they've transferred heat? It certainly looks like a K2 meter, but it's too blurry for me to tell. I mean, do Ghost Theory use K2 meters anymore?
That is heat, right? Look.
Does it actually show up as different temperatures? That 24.6, and what's it like on the yellow part? Or the green part? 23. 22.9. Okay, that is seriously
That's
creepy.
weird as...
What about this one though? Check that one. Is that all just the same colour?
So
It's not just reflections. No, that is complete. Oh, just seriously. That is, yeah.
That looks like some form of EMF or K2 meter. So they've had to have placed that there. So the heat on this, I'm not saying they've done it on purpose, but the heat could be from them placing whatever that device is there. If they haven't placed a device there and it's some form of remote that looks like a K2 meter, then maybe somebody was in there, you heard them come in and escape it off. But to me, the K2 is showing as red as well, or whatever that is shown as red, meaning somebody's handled it. So the heat transference would appear to me to be ghost theory, not a ghost. That's my theory. I'm allowed to have a theory.
That is, yes. Good.
I'm sorry, it's bugging me. It's some form of device, isn't it? It's a K2 meter shape, but the screen looks different. But it's I don't use these things anymore. Common sense and logic would dictate to me that one of them has put this there and heat is just transferred on. Maybe the chest has brushed on it. Maybe they've leaned out with their arm and dragged. Who knows? Don't know how long it's been there. But the K2 is showing a heat signature. That's the edge of the bed. It's a bit hard to tell because of the shifting camera angles and stuff, but to me that K2 has been handled recently and is switched on, which with batteries could produce a little heat. I think somebody's just leaned across the bed and put it on. But to get legs on there as well. But there's no ass heat. There's no thigh heat. Can I say it's fake? No. Do I think that they've placed that K2 on there, which has got heat, and they've leaned, maybe they've put it over from this side of the bed or something? I don't know. That, and that. Maybe they've touched the bed there. Maybe they've leaned across, put the K2 on. There's any number of reasons how this heat could have got there that's not paranormal in my eyes. That's the K2 that they've handled. So potentially they've transferred heat somehow. Have they done it on purpose? Have they leaned on the bed and gone, look, there's the outline of a man? Potentially, but I can't see it as that without seeing them do it.
Look at that. That's clear.
It literally has two legs as well.
Yes.
It actually, seriously.
So to me, it looks like somebody's leaned on this bed or laid on this bed, transferred their heat. But this K2 also has heat. Or it would be logical to assume whoever's put this K2 meter there has also transferred this heat.
It looks like someone's just been led on the bed. Oh god, that's seriously.
I think that's going away.
Eh?
I think it's going away now. No, it's still there.
That's strong.
That's very hot.
Now, the reason Elliot thought that heat was moving away is because Joe stepped in front of the camera and obviously the sensor, and the heat changes direction and stuff. This FLIR doesn't know what it's doing for it. While Joe stepped in front, and there was just suddenly this temperature shift.
Hot.
That's gonna be very interesting.
That's still. It's like it's. Are you still there?
It was a case.
Would you be able to set this device off? If I keep this one here?
See, when they step into shot, this entire thing changes. Everything else is cold. They are hot. Now, the upper temperatures of his arm and his head there are 33.1 degrees. The rest is 19.9 degrees. The temperature of whatever was on that bed was around 23, 24, which to me says somebody's been on there, got up, and left a heat signature that is slowly cooling.
And then if I put this one as well, in the middle, would you be able to use either of these devices?
Now that there's a light on there and he's handled it, this has got a bit of a heat signature. This area is slowly cooling. That's 25.
Could you touch the device if you just move around on the bed? Theoretically, we'd know that you're there. We think we can see you. But what's that on the edge of the bed?
That's also hot. Are you on the bed now?
Yeah, that could be one of you have leaned against it, brushed against this. I don't know. It's not on camera. But to me, that looks like somebody's laid on the bed and then got off, because the human temperature is 5 to 6 degrees higher than what's on that bed. That, to me, is somebody's been laid there for a little time, enough to transfer some heat that is remaining there. It's a warm day, 19.9 degrees, whatever time of night this is. Moved away, it's just taking a while to cool down. I'm not saying it's them, but it could have been somebody was in there trying to bed down for the night on the most uncomfortable looking bed. Could have been one of these guys. They could have laid there and then gone, oh, look. But I can't prove any of that.
Oh my! Oh, I thought I just saw it go away. I thought I just saw it drifting away.
It isn't going.
No, it's not.
Is it just? It can't just be reflection. Reflection of what?
No, this is a reflection of me.
What is?
Yeah, that's my reflection.
But I mean, is it just because it's metallic? But
And that heat reflection is the same temperature as what's on there. I don't think it's a reflection of these pair. I think somebody's laid on that bed and then moved. Not saying it's them before anyone.
that wasn't like that before, because you would
No.
have probably said something.
Yeah.
Was that like that before?
I don't think so. I'm gonna have to look back. I don't know if I actually checked.
Well, yeah, I guess.
I've got an idea. Let's go into the other ward. There's a bed sitting next door and see if any others.
But I mean, if we're getting heat to show that there's someone led there, but we're not getting any conversation though.
So I'm not going to go through everything frame by frame and be like, it's definitely them that has laid on that bed and then got up and moved and gone, ooh. It's possible that that's what's happened. It's also possible that in a building with broken windows, somebody else has laid on there, heard them come in and gone, whoop, I'm out. That explained the doors banging and things like that. Obviously, the door mechanisms, it could have been them and the doors are just taking too long to close. I'm not seeing anything paranormal. I'm not inherently seeing anything fake either. Now, if I was to go to a door or a bed like that, put my hand on there, take it off, there would be an instant heat transference. But because that touch has only been very quickly, it'll dissipate quicker. If somebody's been laid on that bed for a time, the heat transference is going to take longer to just disappear. So to me, it just looks like somebody's recently been on that bed, got off there, and it'll eventually cool down. If they've been laid there for a while, the transference will be bigger. Over time, it'll just shrink in and turn cooler. So if I was to do that, look how quick it disappears. That means nothing. You've got to, how long have I got to be there for that heat signature to remain that long? That's a test that I would do if I was there, but I'm not these guys. These guys have gone in, and by what I've looked at here, they haven't said, oh yeah, we laid on that bed earlier or anything. Somebody has, I think, because ghosts are notorious for cold, not heat. But there's no proof either way that ghosts cause heat or cold, because there's no proof of ghosts. It's interesting. It is interesting. I'd like to use a FLIR device, but I was initially contacted because the Premiere went up and then disappeared, and people were like, oh, have they edited something? Well, Premiere never got to the end, so we don't know if there's a time difference, so I'm not interested in that, really. Contacted about the third person being spotted, or a third person being spotted. No, it was Joe and Elliot, specifically Joe, that I could see through that window. The shadow outside the window there's a tree blown back and forth. They've said it was a tree blown back and forth. People could argue, well, no, it's the mate that's caused that shadow, and they are just saying it's a tree. You could, but the movement of it was like the wind was pushing it, and then it just sprang back. And then this whole thing with the flare, could it have been one of them? Yes. Could it have been somebody homeless or another urbexer? Yes. Could it have been a ghost? I'm not so sure. I doubt it. If we look at historically, people will say ghosts are cold. They create cold spots, they leave cold trails, they turn rooms cold, they have cold touch. So why would there be heat? So there we go. I'm not looking at the entire thing. I'm looking at the specific things people have asked me to look at. I have formed my opinion. It's a bush. It's Joe, slow-moving door mechanisms because they're not being regularly maintained, and heat signature of potentially a homeless person, potentially these guys, potentially transference because they've leaned over, but it was there a little bit too long. While I don't have a flare device, I have used them, and if you just do that, it cools really quick, whereas if you hold it for ages, or if you lay on something, and then you get up, that heat sticks around longer. Calm your titties. Don't shout at me in the chat. There is a claim in the title of Ghost Caught on Thermal Camera in a Haunted Abandoned Hospital. That's what I've been asked to look at, as well as there's other things. I don't think that's the case. I've not seen evidence of them faking or a third person. I can explain most of this stuff away with the flare device. Could it have been them? Yes. Could it have been someone else? Yes. Could it have been a ghost? I don't personally think so. So do please let me know your thoughts on the comment section down below. Now remember, I've not done my usual stick. I have not thrown any accusations about. I am throwing ideas out there. So do you think it could have been one of these two? Do you think there's a third person? Because with the amount of doors and stuff moving and the voices outside, potentially, I think that's the culprit, is there has been a person in there that is scarpered when they come in. That's the more logical conclusion to me. And it's also the least problematic conclusion for me, because if I say they've just laid on that bed without any evidence, then they're going to shout at me, and they've got a right to shout at me, as of the fan base. So I hope you enjoyed this. Well, this wasn't a debunking, was it? This was a breakdown and an analysis of a specific few claims. A claim from Ghost Theory of a ghost captured on thermal. I don't think it is. And then the claims of some audience members that have got questions. I didn't catch them faking. I didn't capture a third person. I didn't see a third person. I saw a bush and I saw Joe. Hopefully this won't kick off, because I can't be any more fair than what I've just been. I reckon a year ago it'd have been like, one of them pairs laid on there, of course they have, what are the other, blah 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 blah, and World War III breakout. I'm not doing that with these guys anymore. It's pointless. Nobody grows, nobody learns. It's just noise and shouting. Hope you enjoyed this different take on a video with people that I don't really get along with. Much love to you all. Beardo out.